So I'm joined by Nasir Zubairi, who's Chief Executive of Luxembourg House of FinTech. Nasir, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What are three pieces of advice for startups looking to disrupt their markets?
Disruption is a very powerful word. Firstly, I would say don't try and disrupt, try and work with the market and evolve it. Secondly, I would say turn your ideas into practice. You must execute. Going around trying to raise money with a piece of paper is never going to get you anywhere. You need to be constantly moving forward. And finally, is never lose the passion. One of the biggest problems I see and I deal with is startups presenting on stage where they're talking in a monotone voice, lacking any sort of passion. And I tell them, how do you expect anyone to buy into your idea if you don't show that you have passion for it yourself? So always remain passionate about your ideas.
What can governments in the region do more to foster innovation and growth?
Oh, absolutely. The key ingredient is passporting. Each of the governments and all the little principalities within the GCC in themselves are not really an exciting enough market, given that fintech is really about scale and access to large-scale customers at low cost. Passporting would be the single key advance required in the GCC to enable a massive explosion of fintech growth and value creation.
So I'm coming on to advancement. What's the next big advance in fintech globally, and how will it happen?
Now, I think fintech will have to cater for other advances that are coming. From a very skeptical start, have become totally convinced that within the next 10 years, the cure for aging will be available to us. I have a very good friend of mine who runs a business now out of Boston with the lead genetics professors from Harvard, 25 of the lead geneticists worldwide. They are going into FDA trials for a pill that will help us to live to 120. The pill will be available for animals within the next year because the trials process is much shorter there. Where is financial services thinking about that? What leader of a financial services organization is even contemplating that? How does that change pension funds? How does that change behaviors that impact ultimately our financial behavior and engagement with finance? When do we buy a house? When do we have children? These are all events that are critical to the financial services process and the business. And I think fintech is very likely to be the area which will first recognize that these advances are coming and will look to develop tools, technologies, business models that will enable us to cater for this and manage it well. If anything's going to disrupt financial services, it's not actually fintech in itself, it's these other things that are occurring around us in the world, and nobody's paying attention to it.
Fascinating. So choose one and tell us why. Better governance, better education, or better tech?
Better education gives me all three, right? So if you're better educated, you're going to govern better and you're going to do better technology. So I win with that one.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Nasir, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.